Hey guys, how's it going? And I wanted to make a new Blu-ray and DVD update, but there's just not a whole lot to show off this time, so I think for today I'm going to show you guys my entire Blu-ray collection. I'll show you guys what I have. I'm going to show you guys basically almost everything when I think about them. So let's begin. Some of these you may have seen already, but hey, I'm going to give a more in detail this. First off is Green Lantern. Um, I saw this again about a week ago. I really liked it, people. It's a really underrated movie, guys. Um, did I like Ryan Reynolds as a Green Lantern? Not entirely, but he was at least comedic. He at least had like something that other superheroes didn't nowadays, except for Iron Man. So that's Green Lantern. Next up is The Dark Knight. I love this movie so much. One of, if not, one of the best superhero movies ever, one of the best comic book movies ever, one of the best movies ever. I love it so much. Heath Ledger is amazing. The continuation of the story. What else can you go for, people? Dark Knight. Love it so much. Next up is Watchmen. Pick up the director's cut, people. If you didn't like Watchmen when if you saw it on TV or if you saw it like the original theatrical version, watch the director's cut. You're gonna be so happy that you did, because I love Watchmen. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's Watchmen. Lego Star Wars, the Battle on Menace. I picked this up for like $5. Mainly because of the novelty of a Lego Star Wars movie. Uh, I don't know. I have something for Legos. I don't know why. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, people. Next up is Inception. I love this movie. As a lot of people love it. I love Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie. I love the music. Music. Oh my God, people. Driving down. People, just put this put the soundtrack of Inception like in your car and then just drive like on a highway. You will love it so much. It is amazing. Next up is Tron 1. I want to pick up Tron Legacy later on, but Tron, I I think it's extremely wow, not overrated, underrated. um, Especially the sequel. The sequel's pretty underrated too. But yeah, I love the effects for the time. Yes, they look terrible nowadays and not up to standards, but I mean, this was made in the 80s, okay? Effects, like CG effects like that, they were breathtaking to people back then. For some reason, this is the only Pixar Blu-ray I have. I want to get other Pixar Blu-rays, but yeah, I don't know why, but this is the only Pixar movie I have on Blu-ray. Like, what is wrong with me? Get out of here. No, I'll pick it up. But anyway, it's Cars 2. Probably Pixar's worst movie ever. The only reason why I am keeping this is because it has the Toy Story tunes on there, and the fact that the movie actually looks good on Blu-ray. Those are the only reasons why I even have this movie. I even keep it. It's a terrible movie nonetheless. Next up is Dumb and Dumber. One of the funniest movies ever, in my opinion. Jim Carrey. This is one of the movies that got him on the map. This and The Mask and Ace Ventura, all in '94 and '95, really pushed him to star status, basically. I love this movie so much. Next up is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I remember seeing this in the theaters 1 year ago. It's been a year ago, people. It's been a year ago since I've seen this movie in theaters. My head, have the time has gone by really fast, guys. But yeah, this is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. I thought that 3 was really good, 2 was just way bloated, and 1 was just cheesy. But 4, I thought 4 had the perfect mix. I thought it had the perfect blend. Next up is Saving Private Ryan, one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies of all time. I love this movie. Just put this on if people just like want to have a good time. Yeah, I know this movie can be really depressing sometimes, but just the grand scale of this movie, I love it so much. Look at that. Next up is T2. Again, one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched this countless times. And recently, I watched this again on Blu-ray. And I can just imagine people in the 90s when this movie came out, just watching these effects for the first time. Just experiencing this movie in the theaters. It's something that comes around only once in a while, people. Trust me on that. Next up is Predator. Sorry about that. Next up is Predator. This is one of the first Blu-rays that I bought when I first got my Blu-ray player. But yeah, Predator. It's a classic. I gotta say that. Schwarzenegger. You can copy so many lines from this movie. Dylan, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. Uh. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. But yeah, that's Predator for you. Next up is The Woman in Black. Really, really good movie. Really chilling, haunting movie. Like, put this movie on in December. Or like mid-February. This is more like a seasonal movie. Like watch this in a watch this in the winter. You'll just get so much chills. Like I absolutely love it. Speaking of Daniel Radcliffe, I have the entire Harry Potter movies right here. Let's start off with the originals. These are 1 through 6. Here we have Sorcerer's Stone. I really, really like this movie. I remember seeing this as a kid, back on VHS. Chamber of Secrets, which I honestly feel isn't as good as the first movie, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. Harry Potter 3, at the time, it was probably my favorite Harry Potter out of all of them. Goblet of Fire, I really, really liked, and I remember when Goblet of Fire first came out, everybody was into Harry Potter. I was in, I want to say 5th grade when this movie came out. Either 5th or 4th grade, I can't remember, but we would always like reenact this movie. We would always, I remember going to a Harry Potter party. Okay, and we used to like mimic like spells and everything in this movie. It was awesome. Order of the Phoenix, this is the very first Harry Potter I actually saw in theaters. I didn't see the other ones until they were on either VHS or DVD. But this is the very first Harry Potter I remember seeing in theaters. Really enjoyed it. Maybe a few problems here and there, but other than that, it was pretty good. And Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Really underrated movie, really underrated. People say this is the worst Harry Potter movie out of all of them. I have to say that's probably the 5th movie for me. Either the 5th movie or the 2nd one, I gotta say. I don't know, like I just like just how funny this movie is. It's actually really funny. So yeah, those are the original Harry Potter movies on Blu-ray. I also have, I'm putting this away, I also have the original Blu-ray of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when it first came out. So yeah, it's the 2 discs. It's basically the same thing as this one, except it's a really like slim case, which I don't like. I don't like these little skinny cases because they're easily broken. They can easily crack. They're not sturdy at all. Luckily, thank God, I have like this box to go with it, or else these things would be broken really easily. And now we come to Deathly Hallows Part 1, which, again, I remember seeing both of these in theaters, Part 1 and Part 2. I love these. But, yeah, I remember seeing these in theaters. And just the amazement of, like, you know, it's over. Like, no more is gonna come out. Unless they make a prequel, there's no way you can continue the story. Unless, like, it revolves around, like, Harry's son. Like, towards the end of the movie. Like, when he's going away and everything. Unless they do that, I don't know what else they can do. Okay, there's Part 1 and Part 2. What else can people say? Probably, this is... Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 are probably my favorite Harry Potter movie because I count both of these as one. So yeah, so the order I would say is Deathly Hallows, then probably, let's see, what am I looking at? Then probably Prisoner of Azkaban, then Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince, Chamber of Secret, oh not Chamber, Sorcerer's Stone, then Chamber, and then Order of Phoenix. That's how my order would go. So yeah, I'm sorry that took me so long to do Harry Potter. Now, this is a big one. Let's move on to all my Marvel stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of Marvel stuff. And let's start off with the final DC movie, Superman Returns. Extremely underrated. I really like this movie. The only problem is that it's really long. It's a really long movie, people. Trust me, it's a really long movie. So let's begin with X-Men First Class. It was an awesome movie. It was a really step up from Wolverine, but we'll get to Wolverine later. It's a really big step up from Wolverine and especially X-Men 3. X-Men 3 was terrible. 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 Okay, terrible. X-Men First Class definitely stepped it up. I loved Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Love the rest of the characters. Love the movie. Cannot wait until Days of Future Past. Because we're getting together all the old guys and all the new ones together. That's so awesome. Next up is Wolverine. This, a lot of people say this is what killed the X-Men franchise. Movie-wise, until First Class came out. Me, I say 3 ended that streak of good movies. Wolverine wasn't that bad. It's just that they fucked up Deadpool in this movie. Deadpool was so terrible in this movie. Oh, Ryan Reynolds. Next up is The Amazing Spider-Man. As I watch this movie again, I have some gripes. I have some gripes to say about this movie. However, it's only nowadays when I look at it, it's only this much better than the original Spider-Man. Only this much better. It's around this much better than Spider-Man 3, but it's this much better than the original Spider-Man. I still love the movie nonetheless, but I mean, but yeah. And again, I love this case. I love this case though. Next up is Spider-Man 3. People say this movie absolutely killed the reputations of everybody who participated in here. I say nay. Watch this movie again, people, and you will see that this movie is not that bad as people say. People are saying this is one of the worst movies of all time. I say, have you ever seen Superman 4? Have you ever seen any other low-budget, terrible movie? I mean, hell, have you ever seen Batman and Robin? That's a much worse comic book movie than this. And let alone the worst movie of all time. I love the music in this, too. Love the music in this. Next up is The Avengers. Love this movie so much. Love this movie so much. I even have the 3D release, and that is back there. I have the 3D release of it back there. But yeah, The Avengers, awesome movie. I saw it twice in the theaters. And that's really rare for me because my theater would basically it would play a movie, like a really popular movie, for about a month, and then it would zoom right out of theaters. So I was really lucky to even see The Avengers twice in theaters because I saw it on the same weekend. But yeah, overall The Avengers, really awesome movie. Really loved it. Cannot wait for Iron Man 3. Cannot wait for The Avengers 2. Cannot wait for the rest of the Marvel movies to come. Next up is Captain America: The First Avenger. Really enjoyable movie. I have a few problems with it, but overall I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was satisfying. I like Captain America in the movie. Way better than that really cheesy 90s movie. If you guys ever seen that, yeah. I think you want Chris Evans back after you saw that movie. Basically, to summarize that movie, in one scene, Captain America fakes being sick, and he gets out of one of the person's cars who's trying to help him, and he hijacks him. Yeah, Captain America basically GTAs him and just like drives right off, leaving him there to die. Next up is Thor. Thor I liked. I like the Asgard part of Thor. The Earth part of Thor was kinda... It was kinda like a sitcom. It was like the Full House of Asgard. That's exactly what the Earth part of Thor reminded me of, now that I look at it. Now that I look at it today. But, not to say the movie's bad or anything, it's just that I thought Thor was just okay. I love the Asgard part, but the Full House 90s Earth part was... yeah. The only part I liked was when he threw the glass down. That was probably the funniest part of that. Next up is the Incredible Hulk. Really enjoyable movie. Not a lot of people talk about this movie. And none of them even talk about this next one, the Hulk. Nobody talks about these movies. I mean, it's like everybody talks about Iron Man, Spider-Man, Batman, sometimes even Superman, but Hulk? No. We can't remember that Hulk had like 2 movies that, albeit the first one wasn't as received, but as well received as the second one, they were still like good box office like numbers at least, and nobody remembers them. Nobody gives Hulk any love, man. I respect you, green guy. I respect you. Of course, if I don't say that, he'll probably come out my window and like Hulk smash me to the floor. Unfortunately. Okay, so, and finally we have the 2 Iron Man movies, Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. This, not Iron Man 1, 2, I'm stupid. The first one, I am so lucky I got this for $5 at Walmart over Black Friday, because go look up this movie. This movie, the single disc edition, the fucking single disc edition of Iron Man 1 goes for $20. Brand new. $15 used on Amazon, on eBay, Walmart, Target, Best Buy. All these have these listed for $15 to $20. Why is this $20 when the movie came out on DVD and Blu-ray in 2008? 2008, people. Okay, even the Incredible Hulk is like $20. Are these things like rare or something? It's astounding, and even like the Ultimate Edition that I have over there on DVD, that's at least $25, like almost 30, and half the time I can't even find them in stores. But yeah, enough bitching. Let's get back to enough bitching about overpriced Blu-rays. Let's get back to this. Iron Man 1, really enjoyed the movie. Actually it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Iron Man 1. Iron Man 2, one of my more underrated movies. I love this movie, people. It's not as good as the first one, yeah, but does that mean it's bad? No. Smash Bros. Brawl isn't as good as Smash Bros. Melee, yet does that mean Smash Bros. Brawl is a bad game? No. Of course not. That's a really stupid argument. It's like, oh, this movie is not as good as the other one, therefore I proclaim that it sucks and it is terrible. It's like, no, just because like one movie is not as good as the other one, the previous installment does not mean that it's terrible. So yeah, there's my Blu-ray collection, guys. I might make one on my DVDs, though that'll take probably an hour to do. If I ever do one on my VHS collection, that'll probably take about 5 hours to do. I'm just kidding. I got rid of a lot of my VHSs long ago. I don't have a lot of them nowadays, let's just say that. So, enjoy Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds looking in your face as this video ends. So, gaze into his eyes. Just gaze into that CGI looking mask as I say my goodbyes. Goodbye.